welcome, Kill Girl here to kind of do a more advanced zombie tutorial using professional grade products. If you want to see how I got this look, keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. Starting with a quick and dirty application to cover the brows, a full tutorial is in the down bar below, starting with a Elmer's glue stick and then patting some face powder over top of that. Now I'm prepping the skin with Mehron Skin Prep. This is just going to take off any oils on the skin so the makeup adheres better. And now using a silicone compound called Third Degree. It's an A and B mixture. Going to use silicone pigments also, and some flocking powder, just a little bit. Going to mix up equal parts of the A and B, add in the colors, and then start applying it to the face. You have to work kind of quickly because you only have a 5-minute working window with this. I'm blending it out here with a popsicle stick in the area I want the wound. And then I have a paintbrush dipped in some 99% alcohol to further blend the edges in with my skin. And then to add some skin texture to it, I'm using a sponge with alcohol on it. And quickly, before it sets, I'm using that same popsicle stick to dig into the middle of where I put the third degree and making my wound. Like you really need to work kind of quick because once this sets, you will not be able to manipulate it any further. And just adding a little bit of it down on my cheek to add some different skin texture. And taking my spatula and lifting up the inside edges. You will see why in just a moment. Please be careful when doing this. And now I'm using some third degree that I have mixed up with a little bit of a red blood tone pigment. I'm just lifting up those inside edges that I just lifted and putting it underneath so you can kind of see the blood and it gives it a more realistic effect. This is a great option because this stuff does not move, does not wipe off, does not transfer onto clothing. Once it is there and dry, it is there until you take it off. Further adding some more inside the wound. And now you just kind of want to go over the rest of your face with a foundation, a pale foundation, anyone will do. Make sure you get around the edges of where you put the third degree so everything blends nicely and it's a little more difficult to tell that you've put a prosthetic on your face basically and it looks more realistic. And don't forget to blend down the neck, arms, legs, anything that's going to show. And using a red gel eyeliner in Poison from Makeup Geek. I'm going to put that around the eye area first in the water lines. This is just going to make the eyes look very sickly and irritated. And then smudging some underneath the lower lash line and along the upper lash line because we all get red eyes when we don't feel good. And then going in with Skin Illustrator Glazing Gels in black and blue and purple. Just going to stipple those with the same brush around the eye area to give a bruised and sickly effect. These glazing gels are great because they do not put off any fumes. So you can use them around the eyes without any repercussions. You know, it's not going to burn like alcohol fumes do. And they're great to use in conjunction with the Skin Illustrator palettes. Now I'm going in with a red and a Bruise Yellow color. I'm just going to add those colors randomly all over the face because rotting skin often kind of turns a yellowish color once it starts decomposing, particularly around the mouth area. I'm going in with the Burwell Skin Illustrator palette. I'm going to use some of the skin tones from it, just using a chip brush that has some of the activator and color on it to just kind of splatter some of the color on the face, and then I'm going to blend it out some with my finger. This just gives more realistic looking pigment to the skin. And now using a blood tone color, I'm going in adding some further depth to the wounds, and using the Toby Cells FX alcohol activated palette. I'm going in with the black color and a Q-tip that is saturated in the activator or 99% alcohol to blend it out. Adding the black color will really just make the wound look like it's deep into the skin. And I'm using it to also contour around the nose, which this is great to use because once it's there, it's there. You have to take it off with alcohol at the end of the day so it will not rub off or transfer. And using a few of those glazing gels again, just to make the eyes look a little more sunken in. Be sure you blend them out really well. And I'm using a brown color from the alcohol activated palette just to add some decaying age spots to the skin. The zombies do not have an even skin tone. And adding some of that same brown color to the frown lines. You want to furrow your nose like you've smelled some poo, and put that in the little creases. This is going to make them recede in and just kind of give you a more zombie-ish look. And then I'm blending it out with a sponge that has been dipped in the 99% alcohol. And now just taking another sponge dipped in alcohol, blending out everything. You can see me fanning my face every now and then because the alcohol fumes are a bit tough. And going in with a blood tone from the alcohol palette. Going to stipple that around the lips and blending out with a sponge that has some of the activator or alcohol on it. Adding some more around the wound on the forehead. Make sure if you have any little skin flaps that you get blood on those also. And some around the wound. And using a fan brush that's been dipped in a blood tone color. Just using that to lightly run it over the skin, making it look like scrape marks. Ever so slightly. And then using a kind of dark brown gray eyeshadow. This is Copper Plate by MAC. Using a fluffy brush to put that in the eye area. And I'm going to use it to contour the rest of the face underneath the cheekbones, because those will be really sunken in, around the nose area, and some on the forehead and the temples. Don't forget the temples. And then going in with a a brown color, excuse me. This is Handwritten by MAC, just to kind of give some color variation with that gray that we just put down. And I'm looking for my makeup brush. Just kind of blending everything out. And then using a thickened blood gel. This is Fresh Scab by Nye. Just putting that in the wound. It really looks like clotted blood. It will stay in place and remain shiny, but it is a bit sticky, so be careful because it will transfer. And putting a little bit where the scratches are as well. Working it over the chin area. And then we're going to work it up into the nose. Because you're dead, you're decaying, your body is going to expel some kind of fluid. And it's going to come out everywhere. And now I have just blanked out my lips with some foundation and adding some black lines just to make it look like the lips are cracked. And adding a little bit of red because I'm a zombie. I've been eating people. I'm gonna have blood on me, right? Just working some at the corners of the mouth. And at the end, you can use those little blood capsules that you burst in your mouth and let it trickle out. Lends a nice effect and really gives the look of blood coming out of your mouth. And lastly, I'm going in with a Fleet Street drying blood in the shade Dark. This blood will dry where you put it, and it will stay shiny so that it does not transfer. And it will keep its color as it dries. So it's a little better. It's a little expensive, but it's better than most of the blood you find in the Halloween stores or Party City or Walmart. Adding some more around the nose area. Like I said, you're going to be expelling all kinds of liquids and fluids and nasty stuff. Great imagery. And then I'm going to set that with a mattifying setting spray. Psyching myself up for this. Close your eyes, hold your breath, and spray away. And vigorously fan yourself with your hands, or a fan if you have one. And now, for the good part, the teeth. Going in with the Pegworks Tooth Lacquer Kit. You want to dry your teeth. This is an alcohol activated palette. So activate the color you want and start painting them on. Then going in with a more red tone color. Make it look like you've been eating people. And doing some black in the corners. And this stuff will wear off if you eat and drink, that kind of thing. And this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did. Till next time, bye! And if you're curious on how I remove all of this, it's actually pretty simple. You know, the 3rd degree that I put on just peels right off.